My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Habit number 2. This video is not for children. It will contain touchy subject matter. It is also probably going to be a two-part video because it contains, excuse me, a slight touch of racism. I probably will post this on Facebook. I'm not really sure, but let me get to the end of the video to give me time to decide this thing. Alright? So if you are of sensitive ears and knowledge, or if you don't really have a heart, or if you are exceptionally sensitive and just can't handle the truth, this video is more than likely not for you. So let's go ahead and get off the video. And also, if you are under the age of 14, go watch something else. Go watch something more clean. Maybe the Teletubbies. Maybe Barney. I don't know. Just go watch something that does not have my ugly face on it, okay? Now let us begin. My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Habit number 2. I'm going to talk to you people about racism in America, racist shit, my career plans, everything. And I'm going to put it all on the table, and this may come back to bite me in the ass, but I'm going to do this because it needs to be said, it needs to be done, and a lot of people don't have the testicular fortitude or the balls to just be honest and do or say what needs to be said. Also watching Steve Harvey in his brand new dating game on his TV show right now. Anyway, so first off, I gotta say it the way I feel it, and y'all probably aren't gonna like it. So let me get some tea because it's the Janko Champions. Oh, champions. Okay. So, first off, if you know me, anything that I begin with that has something to do with racism, I give everybody a warning. I tell everybody that I don't have the right to be a racist because of my multi-ethnic background. Alright? Yes, I am a little fat. Hey, I don't sugarcoat nothing. Alright. So let us begin with this. We all know that my acting career has not taken off, probably will never take off, but I still have the fire and the desire to do so. However, that has nothing to do with this video at all. Actually, it has a lot to do with this video. It has a whole lot to do with this video. Because if you watch my other videos about the color wheel and stuff like that, you'll understand where I'm going in that section of this video. First and foremost, I had to go help I had to go wait for my sister to get some air conditioning repairs at her house. And these young black fellas came in. Hello, guys. That's a shout out. I don't remember their names. And we all got to talking. They did mention how ruthless I could be when I gave them a couple of stories of actual events that happened to me in life. But in my defense, society tends to mold us. Alright? There's no excuses for my brutality of thought, but let's keep it real. Society tends to mold us. So, first and foremost, the discussion with them was really quite simple and as honest as it can be. We, as people of color, refuse to all out help each other. There's either a jealousy issue or there's the I don't want you to succeed thing, so I'm going to piss in your story. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you don't get your dream job, that you are not successful, that there's only a commodity of people of color so that I can be on top. Not because I'm black, but because I don't want to share with other blacks. Because self-hatred is a dominant force amongst black people. Not only do we hate ourselves, but we hate other people of color. So this is why we, excuse me, when I say other people of color, I do not mean people who are not of color in the scale of they're not black. Get that? Okay. So basically what I'm saying is just black people just hate black people. Alright? Now here's the reason this is. I'm about to piss off every black person on the planet with this fucking video, and because what I'm about to say is 1,000% true. Alright? First, a lot of the reasons why we hate each other has a lot to do with that color wheel video, so you should probably go check that shit out. I do have a color wheel video. Second, a lot of the reason why we hate each other is for the simple fact that we as black people don't want other black people to succeed. We don't. And this is why we don't have that many Tyler Perrys reaching out to give people jobs. This is why we don't have that many Steve Harveys reaching out to give people jobs. This is why we don't have a lot of black actors in Hollywood. This is why we don't have a lot of black writers, screen protectors, screen reppers, and all the representation of people of color are far and few between. Now, if I may interrupt my Asian brothers and sisters and my Native Americans who are also Asians and my Latinos who are secretly also Asians, unless you actually came from Spain, born and bred, if you are of Aztec, Incan, and Mayan and your ass is Latino, I'm sorry to break the news to you, you're actually an Asian. Anyway, biologically. Anyway, so let me break it down for you. In America, we are the only country who has probably the least amount of representation on TV on color. For soap operas, there are maybe 17 to 25 black actors, and that includes day soap operas and night soap operas. Do not ask me what their names are, because I can't. On sitcoms, when we had the Cosby era, we had a few Asians come in, and we had a lot of more black people, and maybe 1 or 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 white people have appeared on the Cosby Show, which is the opposite of with Friends, where you have maybe 1 or 2 black people, which was Aisha Taylor and Taj, the sister twin brother, I forgot what his show was on Nickelodeon, but anyway, so you had him. Then you had Lauren Tom on Friends. You didn't have that many black people there. You had Van Damme on there, but you didn't have that many black people. And the fact, I think the only time you actually had black people who weren't sitting in the lobby or whatever, that actually were reoccurring characters were basically Taj did 1, and Aisha Taylor, I think she did 2 or 3 episodes because she was dating Adam Schwimmer. Now, this does not reflect how I feel about Friends. It was a pretty good show. Yes, I watched it. Okay? However, there were no color people there. And it works the same way on colored shows. So don't think that I'm just picking on Friends, because there were plenty of colored shows that didn't have any white people on it. Like, they just did not exist. Just like way back in the 70s, there was like All in the Family. You had Archie Bunker and George Jefferson. And George Jefferson got a spinoff. And then, as cruel as Archie Bunker was to George Jefferson was just as cruel to Bentley. You understand where I'm going with that? The racial divide, that racial cut. Bentley being a white man from England, George Jefferson treated him like dog shit. And he treated Tom even worse. I don't know how many times I've heard him call Tom a honky. And I know that behind the scenes, for those who don't know how acting works, let me drop this tidbit on you. There's a lot of apologizing before you go out and say your lines on scripts. There really is. Because most actors and stuff, they aren't really racist. But they have these roles where they just have to be racist toward their co-star. And the co-star knows it, and they know it, but they have to make the guy really feel it so they can hit the emotional. I'm sure a lot of cuts are made in these scenes. It's, the white actor that has to go around and call his black co-worker that he's been working with for like 5 or 6 years on the show a nigger 7 or 8 times a day. I'm sure that white actor goes off in that trailer and cries for about 15 minutes because that's not who he is or who she is. And it's the same thing with the black actors, go around. I don't want to call some white person a honky. That's not how I was raised. Hell, I got white people in my family. They don't use the word nigger, and I don't use the word honky. But for all medicinal Hollywood purposes or any movie purposes that wants to make a racial point, those racial derivatives are often used. There are plenty of racial derivatives in Asian culture that has been used in Hollywood movies to chink, goop, slope, back. I'm not trying to be racist when I say it. I'm just making that little statement made. Same thing with the red man or the Native Americans. They call us chief, or they call us horse rider, or something really derivative. Chief is probably the worst, unless you're actually the chief. So, it varies, because a lot of people use those derivatives as a means of being slick. But we also, let's keep it real, we don't have Native American writers writing stories for Native Americans. We don't have black writers, not really, except for Tyler Perry, writing stories for black people. Alright? And then there are actors that will tell you, I can't get a job because I'm not light enough. Or there might be actors who will tell you, I can get a job, but I can't get the job that I want because I'm too fucking light. I don't want to play the good guy. I want to play the bad guy. Oh, well, sorry, you're too light, so you have to play the good guy or you don't have a job. Acting like me gonna be like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna take the job because I'm not working. All right? And the thing with acting, you know, if you're not working, you're not working. And I'm definitely not working. The struggle is real. And the thing is, you know, you can't work if there is no work. All right? So what I tell people, because I've made videos about this all the time, because God help me if I ever get my own show, I'm on that son bitch till it's done. From day one to the last day, unless by some accident on set that I die. You know, because they're having a little thing going on with that with Lethal Weapon with Damon Wayans and the other guy who somehow got Damon hurt on the set, and he's getting replaced by Dude, Where's My Car? I don't know your name. It's like Sean something. I really don't know his name. I like him, but I don't know his name. Anyway, that being said, I kind of wanted him or Freddie Prinze Jr. to play Spider-Man way back when Tobey Maguire came out, but Tobey Maguire surprised me, so Tobey Maguire was a great choice. Anyway, getting off of that. The thing is, we as people of color, which is where the conversation started, we as people of color, really, truly to God, don't want other people of color to succeed. We don't. And that's why we have this issue where people of color aren't in charge, because of the simple fact that we don't have this issue. I made videos. I'm not going to promote this studio, but they are sitting right smack dead here in Virginia, and they would not give me a job. They claim they didn't make kung fu movies. They lied. They wouldn't hire me for shit. They wouldn't hire me for a writer. They wouldn't hire me as a director. They wouldn't hire me for anything. So how can I know I'm a good actor if no one wants to give me the job? Understand? Now, we here as people of color, you know, we have a bigger struggle when it comes to making films, when it comes to making movies, because we can't even get in the door. You know? And I say that because it's the truth. You know, it's hard to get in the door when they're standing in front of it and they're saying, well, you're not what we're looking for. We don't need someone who's not all the way black, or we don't need somebody who's not light enough, or who's too dark. And then you don't have enough black producers. And if you do have enough black producers, they don't want to produce pro-black films, or they want to produce black exploitation films. Now, they just remade a movie called Superfly. I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to say anything about it. But back in the 70s and stuff, movies like Dolomite, Superfly, Cleopatra Jones, anything that Pam Grier was in, because they were all good movies that I just can't remember at this moment because I'm on the spot. You know, those basically were blaxploitation films. You know, and not to mention how nice of a body Pam Grier has. You know, but a lot of those movies were blaxploitation films. Fight for Your Life, 1977. I watched that. It's a movie. I can't remember the exact concept, but I know these three dudes get out of jail or some shit, and they go to a farmhouse that is ran by black people, and they rape the guy's daughter, and the black people do kill the three white assailants. Well, there's actually two white assailants and one Asian assailant, but they all kill them all. And by the time the cops get there, you know, it's all pretty much done. But it was a pretty good damn movie. The thing is, there are not enough movies with people of color in them where they're not the bad guys. Alright? Now, as I said, if you watched anything of mine, I've had half-breed jokes and nigger jokes and stuff aimed directly at me and my character because I'm used to it, I was born into it, I've been a victim of it, and when it comes down to trying to get into Hollywood and making movies, it's pretty much not happening here. So when they built the studio here in Virginia, I thought, oh, my problems are solved. I don't have to go to Hollywood and push burgers, because all I have to do is go 40 miles away in Blacksburg and get to this studio. Well, that studio pretty much gave me the finger after they made me go make a movie and then tell me, oh, well, we don't do kung fu movies. Yeah, y'all don't do kung fu movies, but y'all distributed them. And what the fuck did you think the Expendables were? Anyway, getting off that so that there's no legal ramifications on this, I do have freedom of speech, and I got living proof. Well, I had living proof, but my dad died 3 years ago because he was there with me when they sent me away. I'm sure my movie's somewhere in their archives. Anyway, I'm now going to promote the studio because they wouldn't give me a job. And I've been on this YouTube kick for about 8 years, maybe better. Yeah, about 18 years, I think. Actually, I don't know. I started making movies in the year 2000. My very first movie was called The Dragon's Breath. I'm sure you've never heard of it. It's out there somewhere. After that, I made a movie called The Path of Ascension. You can probably find it on Kung Fu Havoc #1, which it's still up because I don't have control of the channel, but it is my channel. So everybody who's on Kung Fu Havoc #1, come to Kung Fu Havoc #2. Please, I need you. Anyway, the bottom line is, when it comes down to making movies about people of color, we can't get jobs. That's right, I said it. We cannot get jobs. It's kind of hard to get a job when no one wants to hire you. It's also kind of hard to get a job when most people won't give you a second look, won't let you get into the door, and there are no people of color writing stories for people of color. You understand? If you don't have black people writing about black people, then you can't have a movie with black people. Now, on the racial side of that, if you don't have black people in your movie, people call off and say that your movie is racist because it don't have black people in it. And when they do have the black people in the movie that has nothing to do with black people, the black guy is usually the bad guy or the token. So I know you're all thinking, well, damn, James, that was just racist as hell. Yes. Yes, it was. Because the world is a racist place. The problem with the world being a racist place is that it is more racist to those of their own kind than those who are not. Now, you got to know when you go watch a movie, because I'm sure most of you don't know, when you go watch a movie, when you literally go watch a movie and you hear one of your favorite actors that's white call out to one of your favorite actors that's black, nigger, or some other derivative to one of your other actors who may be an Asian, like Ao Leon, it doesn't really affect you while you're in the theater, unless it's one of those movies where it's made meant to affect you. So that you'll go home and be like, damn, did we really act like that? And this is the thing about movies. Movies do make you wonder, do we really act like that? So, let me get all the way back to my original concept of how people of color don't help other people of color. The unadulterated truth behind that is simple. It is the truth. I, on the other hand, have done my best to open up doors for people of color. Shout out to my boy Courtney Monroe. Made this movie, Guardians of the Earth. It was actually a series. And while we were filming, one of my co-stars, Jay Diz, hit Courtney up with, I got you now, you black bitch. And here's the fucked up part. I was the only one who was offended. Because Courtney's a little bit darker on the color wheel than me. And I took that shit completely the wrong way. And I made a video about that too. And I said, no. We can't have that. There will be no black racism type shit. Then Courtney pumped my brakes. It's like, pump your brakes, bud. It's okay. We get to have that in there because it's a great lie. I was like, yeah, but that's kind of like hurting your feelings there, right? It's like, hey man, ain't nothing to it. I know it's a movie. I know that I like hearing that lie. And I'm like, dude, I don't like hearing that lie because of our color wheel difference. And he's like, look, the line stay. Action. So it's like, when did he take over my movie? When did he decide that he's going to be okay with somebody calling him a black bitch? Now, we talked after that, Love you, Courtney, because you're a braver man than I could ever be. Now, I was used to the half-breed jokes being directed at me, and I guess he must have took a page out of my book that I didn't recognize. And then again, I never looked at it from his point of view of being called that because of our color wheel. Alright? And I accepted it and I left it in there. You know, when we cut it together, it worked out. So again, thank you, Courtney Monroe. You know, and some things work and some things don't. But as I said, I couldn't get other people in my film. So all I got was black people. It wasn't that I was just out purposely trying to get black people. I wanted to get more people, but when it comes to independent filmmakers, it's hard to find people who will work for food. Because $20 is a whole lot easier to come up with than $2,000 per episode. That's not going to happen. Not on my budget, because I don't have a budget. But anyway, the thing is, I kept it in there because he wanted it in there. You know, and it was to make a point. I'm not the only one that goes through racial derogatives, and because of the color wheel, it kind of worked out. So again, thank you, Courtney, for letting me see that I'm not the only one that goes through that. But I also left it in there because it was a great line. I also left it in there because it shows people that we are adaptable. Alright? It also shows people that when black people can work together, it's not a bad thing. The problem is, a lot of black people don't want to help other black people. Every black person that's been in my film has helped me. Every Asian person that's been in my very first film has helped me. Even though I have let all of you down epically, and I'm sorry, no, it comes to go to show that there are people who are willing to put forth their best to help you out. To the Bowie sisters, to every dude in Fallen Dragon and Dragon's Breath, and everything else that I've done. You know, I've invoked every person of color that I can get in. I tried to get white people in my films. I tried to get black people in my films. I generally had more success with black people, except for in Fallen Dragons, I had more success with Asian people. So shout out to the guy that played my brother. Shout out to Eric Chen. Shout out to Philip. Shout out to Louis Tokello. Shout out to Bruce Johnson. Shout out to the Bowie sisters. Shout out to the guy that played the bad guy, but I can't remember your last name, or your first name for that matter, because it was a long time ago. It's like 18 years ago. So, you know, I never got a remake, so that I'm sorry. I never got a Hollywood publisher. I never got a whole lot of chances, and the reason why I made the movie to begin with was because of the studio that came here. I made a movie because I figured, you know, my dad was in bad health. My mom was in bad health. I didn't want to go all the way to the West Coast and have something happen to them, and then I can't get back here because I'm never going to have that much clout. I'll be making a second video.